Okay, so obviously I haven't posted on this channel for a while. Um, so before I get into the vitriol that will be spewing from my mouth, I owe my subscribers an explanation for that. Um, Work got really hard for me. There were some other extenuating circumstances that made it really hard for me to do videos. Um, I'm sorry. Hopefully next year I will be able to perform better. Kind of like the Condors. Um, there's no intro after that game, mostly because I think I accidentally deleted the files for the video clips and the song that I used. So we're gonna get right into it. I'm not gonna talk about the game. This is gonna be a player by player rant for most guys, and the coaching staff. Don't think you guys are safe either. Well, okay. I'll be fair. Manson and Dave, you're off the hook. Mainly because I'm terrified of you. I don't want to get on your bad side. And also, I don't know what responsibilities you and JF will have. So it's mainly Woodcroft that I'm going after. Sylvain, I might get to you. I don't know. This is probably going to be a one-take video. So, I'm going to do this in order of, most points to least points. And then for the goalies, it would be like, I think the AHL app had it ranked as like most wins to least or something like that. We'll get to everyone. So, first, I'm going to get this out of the way. I don't have cap friendly up or, know what everyone's contract is. Gonna have to deal with it. So just when I say re-sign a guy, assume I mean when his contract is up. Curry. If we do not either sign him to an NHL deal or an AHL deal when his contract is up, shame on you. He is the heart and soul of this team, and he is the only person who gives two shits most nights. He is one of the only reasons that I watch games, this season anymore. That and, well, I'm a masochist. I've been a fan of this team for far too long. But when his contract is up, you need to re-sign him. There's no excuse. I don't care, about, this 22-year-old center that we signed out of college has better points than Curry. You mean to tell me you can't find a spot for him in the bottom six? Don't give me that. You're re-signing him. Tyler Benson. Benny's been good. I mean, that is a fact. He has been one of the best players on this team since Yamamoto got called up. He gets a little bit, I don't want to say passive, but kind of, I don't care. But since coming down from the NHL, he's been active in, the games he's played. He's not going to start the year here next year. He's going to start in the NHL. He might get sent back down. He might not. That's on Holland. Malone, again with Curry, you got to re-sign this guy. You know, we're gonna need veteran center depth. You know, you look at next year. You know, and who do we have as our centers? We have Marody because he's still on his ELC. We'll have McLeod, and I mean I know that Lavoie is more of a winger than a center, but he is kind of a center. Are you really gonna trust 3 separate lines to rookies? I mean, you can do it, but I wouldn't recommend it. And there's, as far as I know, there's not a limit on how many people you can carry in the AHL. Why wouldn't you sign him? He looks like he gives a shit every game. Sure, he takes stupid penalties, but so does everyone else on this team, apparently. Joe Gambardella, kind of like Curry, he's one of the only reasons I watch this team anymore. Well, one of the only reasons I watched this year. You need to keep him. He's been a heart and soul guy who, other than the games he was hurt, and very clearly playing through being hurt, he's still putting up, he's still, what is that, 4th in points? Come on. Esposito. I could take him or leave him. I'd prefer to keep him. Because again, center depth. It's never a bad thing to have too many centers. Ryan McLeod. He's on his ELC, so obviously you're going to keep him. But out of all the rookies this year, he's my favorite. He is fast, tenacious, great. Well, okay. He's really good defensively, even if his stats don't really show it. You got to keep him. Edmonton will force you to keep him. Colby Cave. Meh. He hasn't really done much. He's been good when he's down here. I wouldn't miss him if he were gone. Cooper Marody. Buddy, are you going to play again, like, next year, or what? Because if you're not, maybe let the team know. Because, God, we missed you. We need you back. Yamamoto, he's never coming back to this league. He's playing top 6 minutes in the NHL. He's doing really well in the NHL. And I think he's already almost, like, I think he's at like 7 or 8 goals already, in like 30 games in the NHL. He's not coming back here, unless he gets hurt, which, no, I don't want that. Granlund, decent. He's gone, but decent. Maximov, definitely as advertised. I like that he's kept his penalty totals low. Just a good player, at this level. He's a rookie, so he's not, he's not putting up the, what was it when he, like, I think it was something like 80 or 85 points the year before he came to junior, or the year he came from junior. So I don't see why you wouldn't, plan on having him top 6. Ryan Kuffner. Sure, he's played 2 games, but he's been really good in those 2 games. I'd love to see you keep him. Stukel, same thing, except better, I would say. I'd love to see those 2, be depth for this team. Um, Peluso. Why do we have him if we're gonna play him like 10 games? I get that he's, the enforcer, but he's still a hockey player. Like he can still play, you know, more than what you're doing. If you wanted someone who could just play 10 games, put me out there. You know, get me up on skates, get me in pads. I'll stand in front of the goalie. You know, probably give more of a rip than some of these guys. Yurko, he's gone. You know, he had a season-ending injury, which I wish him the best. I hope he gets over his I think it was hip surgery. I hope he heals up and doesn't sign in the Western Conference next year. Cam Hebig, I like him, but he's probably gone. Miles Koulis, he hasn't done anything. You know, he's been Gagne. I mean, he played like 4 games here. He was very clearly an NHLer in the AHL. I know Oiler fans like him. I hope he finds success somewhere. Much like Miles Koulis, if you're going to play in the AHL next year, don't sign in the Western Conference, please. Bo Sterrett. Nice. Pretty decent bottom 6 option, or he could go to the ECHL, be a top 6er there. Nolan Vesey, he's doing his best. I have to give him credit. He's trying, but he's an ECHL guy. And Gaetan Haas, he's not coming back. I don't even know if he's signed to another year in Edmonton, so they might not bring him back. Steven Yacobelis, apparently he played in games. Didn't do anything. So, on to the defense. This is where I have varying opinions on most of these guys. Some of them are a little bit more emotional takes. Some of them are, I like to think, grounded in logic. So we're going to go with the ones that are grounded in logic first. Logan Day, please re-sign him. In my opinion, he's probably been our best defenseman. He's been solid he's been a solid 2-way defenseman. Mostly stayed out of penalty trouble. Even though I think the AHL app said he had like 50 something penalty minutes. I think he's had 2 10-minute misconducts though. I know he's had at least one. Caleb Jones, he's not coming back next year. He's going to be in the NHL. He's been really good up there, for what they expected. William Lagesson, same thing. He hasn't gotten into as many games. He might get traded. I heard some people say that was possibly an option. I hope he doesn't, unless it brings, assets back to the Condors. Let's see. Let me just go to the next. Okay. Matt Benning, because yes, Matt Benning did play games here. He's an NHLer. He's on a conditioning loan. What do you expect from him? Cody Corbett, kind of like Steven Yacobelis. He played games? When? Kind of like the other 3. If you're going to sign in the AHL, Eastern Conference, please. And Vinny Desharnais, I think he's been good in the games he's played here. He'll probably be an ECHLer. Could be really good AHL depth though. So that kind of takes off the logic-based opinions. Now let's get to the fun ones, shall we? So, Evan Bouchard. Buddy. Just sit down. We're going to have a talk, okay? Now, obviously, there's a reason you were picked 10th overall, okay? We know that. Edmonton knows that. The rest of the league knows it. And I think it's pretty clear that it's your shot. You know, your shot and your skating, or why you were picked 10th overall. So explain to me why literally almost every time I see you shoot, which is very rare, by the way, why are you missing the goddamn net so much? Like, yes, I get, oh, people in the AHL are bigger than juniors. You're the size of a dad. You know, you are a big man. You know, why? Like, come on, you've got a shot that, like, a lot of people would kill to have. Maybe stop passing the puck and start shooting it on the net. Oh, and also play better defense, yeah? Well, okay, this is an opinion that I should have put in the logic one. Dmitry Samorukov, he's been pretty good. Third line, or third pairing, you know, 7th defenseman right now. Doesn't look terribly out of place, which is good, because, you know, depth, never bad. Jake Kulovich, if I could put together a top pairing, you know, in terms of like people I think are the best defensemen on the team, it's Logan Day and Jake Kulovich. Without a doubt. Those two are carrying our defensive core. And I will hear no arguments about it. I don't care how many points Evan Bouchard is putting up. I don't care what someone else's, you know, Corsi rating is. Those are our best two defensemen. Not Evan Bouchard, not our captain, not, you know, not Samorukov, none of those guys. You know, it's two second-year players, our best defensemen. And now we get to the guy who I have a slightly controversial opinion on, Brandon Manning. Now, we all know the cap hit. We all know that he is very much not worth that cap hit. And yeah, it's good that he's that contract. It's good that that contract is coming off our books after this year. In an AHL depth role, I wouldn't mind him coming back. I said what I said. You can roast me in the comments if you want. It's my opinion. He's not a great hockey player. There are times where he should probably be in the ECHL. I wouldn't mind him as a depth guy. So this is the one that if a certain Edmonton executive is watching, skip past this, because you're not going to like it. Bakersfield Condors captain Keegan Lowe. I get that, you know, he's a veteran in this league. I think he's played NHL games. I think with Carolina, if I remember right. I might be getting that confused because I know they drafted him. I don't know if he played games with them or not. fire him into the sun. He is a terrible captain. He takes god-awful penalties sometimes. And, I mean, to top it off, in, let's see, what would that be? 136 games? You know, I think he's played all 68. He has, like, 20 points. And none of them are goals. Like, how do you not luck... Or he has one goal. One or two. How do you not luck into, like, 5? We're playing you on the top pairing most nights, on the top line, or on, I think, the second or third power play unit, and like the top penalty kill unit, and I'm pretty sure we play you when we have 3 guys on the ice. How do you not luck into at least 5 goals over 168 games? Or 36. I want him off my team. I don't care that he's the son of Kevin Lowe. I don't care. Get him off my hockey team. On that note, Jay, if you're watching, this one's directed right at you, bud. Why in God's name is the Bouchard-Lowe pairing still a thing? I think both of them are like in the negative double digits for plus minus. Why is that still a thing? I don't care that there's 15 games left. For all I care, put a fucking forward back there. I don't care. Either bench Bouchard, bench Lowe, or break that pairing up. It is god-awful. And I honestly think there are ECHL defensemen that play better than that. Goalies. This is hard, obviously, because, injuries. You know, you come into this year and you're expecting the tandem to be Shane Starrett and one of Stuart Skinner or Dylan Wells. Who knows? Who knows for the backup? Starrett goes down and Skinner steps up. With that said, I'm going to start with Shane. Buddy, I love you. I really do. I hope you get completely healthy. It kills me to say this, but I think you're gone. Trust me, it sucks to say that. But logically, I think Edmonton might let you go. Keith Gretzky, if you were watching this, sign him to an AHL deal. Because, come on. Look what he did last year. Look what he's done in the, 5 games he's been allowed to play. And it's an AHL deal. You have, 4 guys on AHL deals up front. Give it a shot. Dylan Wells, at this point, I don't even think he's playing in the ECHL. I think he might be the 7th goalie in the system. In the pros, that is. I don't think he's even playing down there. Because I saw a post in another, in a Wichita Thunder group that was saying that was praising their coach for basically giving Edmonton the bird and saying, no, we're playing our 2 goalies. Screw who you sent to us. He's bad. Although, to be fair, the same problem that kind of ails us here is with them too. The defense is terrible. So there's not a lot that any goalie can do. Speaking of defensemen, I missed a guy, which is unfortunate because I underlined him, and I meant to get to him. Joel Persson. I don't know if this was Keith or if it was Ken. Probably Ken, because it involved a second round, or I think it was a conditional seventh. Why, out of all the other teams you could have traded him to, why did it have to be one of the teams who has a team that they're affiliated with in the AHL in our division? You couldn't have traded him to, I don't know, Ottawa, Toronto, the Rangers, the Islanders, literally anyone else, except for Colorado, San Jose, Ontario. You couldn't have traded him to anyone else. There's 26 other teams, or there's 20 something teams you could have traded him to. It had to be Anaheim? Really? And for a goalie that isn't even going to come over to our organization, and a 7th round pick that you might not even get? I get you're trying to, get rid of a contract, but really? That was the only offer you got? Or the only offer that you thought was good enough? No, you could have traded him anywhere else. So now that I'm done with Joel, I wish you best of luck in the NHL. Don't get sent down, please. I am begging you. I don't want to deal with you in San Diego. I really don't. Going back to the goalies, Stuart Skinner. If you pull out a dictionary and you look up the word inconsistent or inconsistency, it's a picture of him. I mean, it is. I don't get how a guy can go from looking like the next Patrick Waugh to looking like, someone who maybe doesn't even belong in a beer league. I mean, I get that, Edmonton probably has a say in who plays and who doesn't, which would explain a lot of lineup choices. But come on, why do you have a backup if you're just gonna play Skinner for, I think it's 41 games now. And yeah, I get that Starrett got hurt. But what about the month or so that Starrett's been back? You couldn't find 5 or 6 games, for Shane. That just proves to me that Starrett is probably gone, which sucks because he is a phenomenal guy. And I mean, he's, out of everyone who got screwed a bit this year, he got screwed the hardest. And it sucks. So, that kind of concludes the player-by-player section. I don't even really want to go after Woodcroft, because now that I've kind of gone through it, there wasn't a lot he could do. You got guys like Marody going down, Yurko, Malone, with the flu, Starrett. There are things that I have a quarrel with him about, I don't feel like getting into them. It's a little bit unfair to him to say, oh, I want him gone. Someone needs to talk to him. Someone needs to say, hey, it looks like you've lost the locker room. Because they don't look like they care. There are 3 or 4 guys who look like they care anymore for the last 15 games. And they're not going to carry this team. They're not going to carry this team to the playoffs. So I don't think they're mathematically eliminated yet. This team is done. This team is done. A lot of the fans are done. I'm done for the year. Next year looks decent. A lot more rookies. If Holland and Gretzky are smart, they'll bring in AHL vets, which will be good for Kansas too, or it'll be good for Wichita, because they'll be good, because they'll get a bunch of guys back. They might even get some AHL guys down there. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. Bring on the off season, I guess. Kind of like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm gonna try and get more videos up next year. If work permits, it'll be easier. If not, then I'll probably just do, probably end up doing, 5, 6, 7 in a day I have off. So with that, well, no, I have a couple more things I'd like to say. Despite all of the statistical failure down here, there are some bright spots. We can kind of look at how many guys we had, go up to the NHL this year. I'm gonna kind of count them off because I don't know off the top of my head how many. Let's see, we had Benson, Yamamoto. You could argue Gagne and Gaetan Haas. You could argue that they count. If not, then you have 2. But I'm gonna go with 4 because it's my video. Joel Harrison, same thing. And I think Joakim Nygard, I think he played games here. So there's 6. Caleb Jones, William Lagesson, and Matt Benning. So there's 9 guys. So that's what, 1, 2. Hold on, I think I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with Nygaard. So there's 2 lines in the NHL. Granted, not all of them played. You had Benson or Bouchard go up. Didn't play. Cave, same thing. Although I think he did play when he was up. So there's 8. Caleb Jones, William Lagesson. So there's 10 already. And then you had Matt Benning. who is still up there, and obviously he should be. Um, and I mean, Skinner did technically go up. He served as the backup. So, there's 11 guys, that were called up during the year. That's obviously not all of them are forwards, but that's basically a full forward lineup, on a game day. But obviously, logic. That's two forward lines, two D pairings, and a goalie. That's almost a full NHL roster. Obviously some of them, got sent down, and a couple of them stayed up there. That in and of itself is a successful season. But it doesn't exactly take the sting out of basically being eliminated from the playoffs. So all I can hope is that guys like Benson, Curry, Bouchard, guys like that, that they get called up to be Black Aces for the Oilers in the playoffs, should they make it. Because it's not confirmed that they'll make it either. It's pretty likely, because I think they're in. Actually, with Vancouver losing and Edmonton winning, I think they might be tied for first. Not sure. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I know this is a longer video. I think this might actually be the longest one on the channel. Thanks for watching the few videos I put up. Thank you for all the feedback, both for the people who found this through Facebook and through just YouTube. That's all, folks. Like, comment, and if you haven't, subscribe. I'm probably going to be doing a bunch of videos on, over the summer. With certain guys probably getting signed, probably getting traded. And then when training camp rolls around and, AHL contract season comes, I'll be making videos then. So with that out of the way, I figure I can't stretch this out any longer. That's the season, I guess. It's a pretty bittersweet ending for year one.